So, what does a career in data science really look like? We all kind of picture the straight shot, right? University, then boom, you're at some top tech company. But what if I told you one of the sharpest minds at Mercado Libre, that's the e-commerce giant in Latin America, took a path that just completely flips that idea on its head? His story, well, it's packed with some incredible lessons for anyone trying to build a career right now. Okay, so let's just trace this journey, because it's pretty wild. This is Rodrigo Mello. He starts out in tech, way back in 2000, at a company that would turn into the powerhouse Mercado Libre. But then he pivots hard, becomes the university professor for almost 17 years. Then he jumps back into the corporate world, first at a huge bank, and then comes full circle, right back to Mercado Libre as a senior expert. It's less of a career ladder and more of a career boomerang. So you gotta ask, right? Why would a tenure professor, 17 years in, just leave? Well, for Rodrigo, he felt like his research was just kind of sitting there, frozen. It wasn't making a real-world impact. He missed the buzz, the pace of industry where ideas actually happen. And his choice to go back, man, it unlocks some powerful truths about careers today. So first, let's get into this. Academia versus the real world. This is truly a tale of two completely different cultures, and figuring out this difference is absolutely key to making it in tech. When you put them side by side, the culture clash she walked into is, well, it's huge. In academia, everything's about deep, careful, methodological rigor. The end goal? Get published. The pace is slow, it's deliberate. But in industry, forget it. It's all about being practical and moving fast. The goal is making an impact for the customer, and you're often shipping new stuff every single week. It's a totally different planet. So you'd think, right? With his early industry experience, Rodrigo probably thought jumping back in would be a piece of cake. Yeah, not so much. It took him a full year and a half just to get his sea legs back.
And look, you don't have to take my word for it. This is straight from him. The shock of that transition was real. The speed, the day-to-day pressure, he said it was just a massive adjustment. And that really shines a light on this huge, unspoken challenge of moving between these two worlds.
Okay, so if the market is that demanding, how on earth do you survive, let alone thrive? Well, the answer lies in what Rodrigo calls your career superpower, building a T-shaped skill set. So what in the world does that mean? Just picture the letter T. That long vertical bar, that's your deep, specialized knowledge. Maybe you're an absolute wizard with machine learning models. But that horizontal bar across the top, that's just as crucial. That's your broad knowledge of other stuff, software engineering, business, communication. It's the part that lets you connect your specialty to the rest of the world. And like Rodrigo says here, if you're stuck in your own little box, just being a one-trick pony, you're gonna have a tough time. The market today values that deep expertise, for sure, but it's the breadth that lets you actually use it effectively with the team. You need both. And here's the perfect real-world example from his own career. Remember those early days he spent as a developer? That's the horizontal bar of his T. And today, it gives him this massive advantage. He can actually speak the same language as the engineering teams, understand their problems, and help get these really complex projects shipped without all the usual friction. It's like having a secret translator. So all of this boils down to a playbook, right? A set of concrete, actionable steps for you to succeed. Rodrigo basically distilled his entire experience into 3 clear moves for anyone in this field.
Okay, the playbook is simple but powerful. Step 1, master the fundamentals. Step 2, build projects out in the open where people can see them. And step 3, learn to communicate with real impact. Now let's zoom in on a couple of these where his advice is just pure gold.
First, on fundamentals, Rodrigo is basically shouting this from the rooftops. Stuff like statistics, linear algebra, algorithms, this is the bedrock. He says you will almost never again in your life get the chance to learn this stuff with the kind of focus and support you have in university. This is the foundation that lets you learn any new tool that comes along later. And now, for communication, oh man, this is a total game changer. His advice? Don't start with the long, boring, technical story of how you did everything. Business leaders don't have time for that. You start with the result. Show them the graph, the bottom line. Then, if they want to know how you got there, they'll ask. You have to completely flip the way you learn to present in school. All right, so let's look to the future. How does all this advice stack up in the age of AI? What does the future of your career actually look like, beyond just the code? Rodrigo's take here is really interesting. This is the big one, isn't it? The question on everybody's mind. Is generative AI coming for our jobs? Well, Rodrigo argues that, yeah, it's a super powerful tool, but it's changing the game in a really specific way. He doesn't see it as simple replacement. He sees what he calls the great shift. The need for junior people doing more of the routine, automatable tasks, that's going down. But at the same time, the demand for really experienced senior talent, people who can solve complex, brand new problems and guide the strategy, that's shooting up. And that creates this fascinating, kind of scary paradox for the whole industry. If AI is automating away the entry-level jobs, how do we grow the next generation of senior experts? Where are they supposed to get that crucial early career experience? It's a huge puzzle the entire tech world is trying to solve right now. So, after this incredible career that spanned 2 different worlds, and now looking ahead to a future with AI, what's Rodrigo's final, most important takeaway? It's not about the code, it's not about the algorithms. As he puts it, knowing people is central to succeeding. In a world that's filling up with smarter and smarter machines, could it be that our most valuable skills are the ones that are the most human?